Good morning, everybody. How are we doing? Sammy, United People's TV. It was, what's date? Thursday, the 17th of October. And we nearly done it. The second of 3 international breaks. It's mad that it's just this period every year. You get the craziness of the summer. And then in September, international break. October, international break. November, we've got another one coming in 7 games' time, starting from Brentford on Saturday. But finally, we can now start looking towards and looking ahead to Brentford on Saturday. We're all going to be nervous about it, given how United are playing this season. Let's be honest, Brentford not having the best of seasons either. Anyway, we'll speak about Brentford a little bit later in the show. To begin with, I'm going to be speaking about Malacia, some whispers, and they're only whispers at this point, around Mainoo, right? I don't know how many times I have to keep saying this. There's a responsibility in what news you cover as gospel. Can scream it till, well, just keep screaming it, and maybe eventually people will start listening. But anyway, we'll speak about the whispers that exist about Mainoo. They may be correct, but currently they are just whispers. We will speak about Paul Pogba's interview that he gave yesterday, a little international roundup from The Athletic. Big up to The Athletic for that. And you can fire your comments in. I'll try and answer as many as I possibly can. All right? Comments and questions. Everybody have a good time. Who's here from the mod and the member gang? Good morning to you, Carl. Josh, you're there as well. Lily, good morning to you. We've got Chetan Leonard. We've got Neville. Matt Bird, La Wilson. How you doing? John, you're there too. Kenny and Nash. And on Facebook, we've got Gavin Thompson. Good morning to you, buddy. We've got Steve, Randolph, and we've got Honor Lena. Good morning to everybody. How am I doing today? Thanks for asking, Wes. It's been an arduous, that's what I call this international break, arduous, right? Anyway, let's move on. Little random thing here, okay? Manchester United just announced a sponsorship with Tiger Beer. I'm impartial to a cheeky tiger here or there. But how bad is this hashtag? Sorry, I have to laugh at this. Sorry, anybody from United who's watching, but it's like you're sitting down there and it's like you're sitting down with a brand. You're like, oh, lads, have you got any ideas for a hashtag? How about Together Roars Louder? Yeah, we. It's just it made me snort. It's just such a corporate angle, brand friendly, safe. That just made me laugh. Anyway, Together Roars Louder. I like Tiger. What's your favourite beer? Get it in the comments. Like a cheeky tiger. Cheeky singer as well. Everyone knows how much I like Beavertown. Beavertown, if you're watching, I know you're not. But Beavertown, sponsor United People's TV. Right? That's what I want. Dream. Neck oil. Boom. Gamma ray. Yes. I got some other ones too. Anyway. Let's move on and speak about the news. That was just a bit of a random start. Thomas Tuchel, just one little brief couple of minutes chat at the start here. I want to say good luck to him, man. Good luck to Thomas Tuchel as England manager. You saw the back page of the Daily Mail with the word German in capital letters. I called them gammons. You can call them whatever you want. You know the people that we're talking about. The sort of people that still go to England games and sing the song about German bombers. Anyway, good luck to Thomas Tuchel, because unfortunately he's going to need it with the English media. And that's why I'm speaking about this now, because a little short story for you. Right, Samuel Luckhurst here. On the 7th of October, Thomas Tuchel is under consideration by Manchester United to potentially replace Erik ten Hag. Lots went round, or so many conversations. Oh my God, is it incredible? And literally the next day, he signed his contract with England. So the day before, he's under consideration to replace Ten Hag. The next day, he signs a contract with England. And this, ladies and gents, boop, 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 boop. That's the sound of Samuel Luckhurst reversing. Boop, boop, boop. An external source suggested Thomas Tuchel had a verbal agreement, but club figures have denied that. Wiffly, wiffly, waffly, waffly. If I ever got access to a press box. I don't think Samuel Luckhurst would particularly like me. Well, I think some things deserve to be called out on. Alex, you're a big fan of Gamma Ray. Jamie, you like Peroni. Ryan, Stella was mine before they made it weaker. Pour some out for the OG Stellas. I don't really like bitter that much. Landlord, bitters are overrated anyway. But yeah, I genuinely wish Thomas Tuchel the best of luck because he's really going to need it with the English press. I always thought this, and I don't know if any of you who live in other countries, how do your national press treat your national team, especially in the build-up to international tournaments? Because you would think that they would do whatever, in theory, the press would do whatever they can to try and support the team, to sort of increase national sentiment, to build some sort of confidence between the supporters and the fans and the players. But in England, it's just, they will do anything to find somewhere to stick a knife and to twist it. And they will do anything to drag the players down. That's how it goes in the British press. And you've seen it there with the start of Thomas Tuchel. I don't know what it's like in any other country. But in England, it's horrible, man. I hate the relationship with the boy. I hate the... Man, it's always existed. The tabloids. There's so much more interaction with dragging someone down than there is with geeing someone up. And that's just the truth. And that's extended to social media. That's extended to the internet as well. And you're saying not into alcohol. Well, to be fair, this is my 3rd week now. I'm off for 10 weeks. It's good. I'm enjoying it so far. Well, I'm not bored of it so far. Oh, to be fair, I'm enjoying it. I'm feeling stronger. We're getting there. What's it saying down here? Black Coffee saying, in Cameroon, we stand by our national team. Doesn't matter who is in charge. Someone up there saying, big hype up here in Australia. I don't know. Just found it very odd. Speaking of international, look at that for a segue. Come on. Segue. It's going to run through the roundup from The Athletic on the internationals and what happened and who played where. Bayindir didn't play for Turkey in either games. Lindelof played 28 minutes in the international break. Martinez didn't play the first game, only played for 17 minutes in their second game. De Ligt, did he play at all? Came on as an emergency late substitute for 10 minutes, and then he wasn't used against Germany, so De Ligt got 10 minutes. Xerxes, I think he had a decent game in the first one. Yeah, played 76 minutes. And then he came on for 15 minutes in the second game. So he got about 90 minutes. Joshua Xerxes, good for him. Højlund played 12 minutes in the first game. And then we saw that, was it 56 minutes? Yeah, 57 minutes in the second. So just over an hour of football for Højlund. Onana, he enjoyed himself. James Scanlon played for Gibraltar twice. Ugarte played the whole of the first game at centre-back, but then you saw what happened because he went off with an injury. Well, looked like an injury. We don't know about the Ugarte situation yet. Currently speculation, but if somebody goes down off the ball, typically, it's not a good thing, is it? Right? Typically, it's not a good thing. Diogo Dalot played well in the first game, unused substitute in the second game. And then Bruno, being Bruno, having a good time for Portugal. And Eriksen got a goal and an assist. So Eriksen and Bruno, probably the two best performers during the international break. De Ligt got some minutes, but not particularly anything. Højlund got some minutes. Xerxes got some minutes. And injury concern around Ugarte. That's the international roundup for you. All you need is a minute of it. Now, a question I want to ask you here quickly, people, right? Because I've had a conversation and an idea. Would you like this, right? I want to bring the podcast back, okay? But I might change the format. And as an idea, would you be interested in a 10-minute daily news roundup that goes out every single morning? So imagine like the show that we've got here, but just condensed into 10 minutes. And it will be for those who are commuting, those who can't tune in, really. It's about showing the new show that we do here every single morning to a wider audience and creating a daily podcast out of it. Now, on top of that, if that works and we can bring the podcast back, then we can then bring back hopefully some interviews and stuff like that. But maybe it's just an idea, something I might venture into, is creating a really nice condensed little 10-minute version of this that would go out as a podcast. All right. Yeah, it'll be a lot more structured. It'll only be 10 minutes. We'd have a little. It's just an idea. It's just an idea, and I think for a lot of people they would enjoy that format. I can see some of you down here. Yeah, man. Seems like lots of you like the idea. Someone's saying like the Paddock Paper Talk. I haven't listened to the Paddock Paper Talk. I haven't listened to. No offense to what they do. I just haven't listened to it. But I know that not everybody would be able to tune in. Josh, you're saying wouldn't a once-a-month podcast be better, or once a week? Truth be told, if you do that, then podcasts won't grow, because that's just the bottom line of it. Hence why a daily one might work. But anyway, just something I'm thinking about in the background, all right? Now, can we... Right. Kobbie Mainoo, right? We know full well that he went off against Spurs, then played against Villa, and didn't go on the international, or didn't go away with England on international duty. Thinking, great, Mainoo's got 2 weeks off. And I'm not covering this as a headline story. I'm covering this as I see so many people talking. I can see headlines this morning about Kobbie Mainoo being injured. And I'm like, where's this coming from? Because I see nothing on The Athletic. I see nothing from the BBC or the Telegraph or the Times. So I do a little bit of digging. Where's it coming from? An account called United Menace on Twitter last night at 9:20, saying, sorrow fellow United fans, Kobbie Mainoo's looking around 4 weeks, depending on recovery and rehabilitation. A random United Twitter account with 5,000 followers. Now, I will say this to begin with. This may well be correct. May well. I'm not saying that it's impossible that the information can be correct. But I would say it's absolutely ridiculous and stupid to be losing your mind over it right now. Off the back of at United Menace sending a tweet last night at 9:20. Calm your boots, people. And this is just how things spread. It's come from one random thing, and then somebody will take it somewhere, an aggregator will pull it up somewhere else, and then nobody will really know where the origin came from. But who cares? Let's just talk about it right now. It's just, Jonathan, you're saying, why are you giving these randoms time of day? It's not that. It's not about, I'm just trying to encourage all of you, and I think you all do it on here, to be fair. And I encourage you to tell other people as well. Like, just do a little bit of research. Please. Don't just take things as gospel. Now, fingers crossed he's completely wrong. All right? Because Mainoo has been, well, he's been at Carrington. No one has any idea. And the information might be right. But no, Royal's saying, is this what we do now? Picking news from Twitter accounts? It's the opposite of what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to encourage you all to just don't get caught up in hype that you see on football. Football Twitter just makes you want to bang your head against a brick wall, man. Really does. Twitter used to be such... Honestly, it has gone so far downhill since Elon Musk took over. My word. I get porn bots and weird videos all up in my feed now. I can't get rid of them. No matter how many times I scroll back to my feed, they keep popping in, keep popping up. And it's just... It's annoying, man. It's really annoying. Anyway, some more actual news, right? Tyrell Malacia. I don't actually know how many months he's been out. I think I asked you before in the comments, when was the last game that he played for us? And was it in like May 2023? Is that when it was? Is that the last time he played for us? It's something like that, right? Anyway, he has been gone for a long ass time. And now we're getting reports from, now this is coming from Voetbal International out in Holland, that Malacia is set to return soon. Now, there's no confirmation. I think it must be like 18 months he's been out. God knows how long, right? But Malacia should be back probably before the next international break. Maybe earlier. Now, first thing I would say is, well, good for him. And that's good news for United. We need a left back, right? Jeez, I mean, you don't need me to tell you that. Going into this season, best case scenario this season, that Shaw was fit, Malacia returned. Yeah, our left back situation wouldn't be anywhere near as bad as it is, but it's not. It's been the exact same as last year. So not only did the medical team make a massive faux pas in telling Ten Hag, no, we don't need Regular anymore because we're going to have Shaw and Malacia. And then he goes, and then I think that's when Fernandes was called back from his loan and then sent on loan for the second half of the season to Benfica. Am I correct in that? I don't know whether I am. Anyway, not only have they done that, but they made the faux pas of saying, no, don't worry, those problems of last season won't exist this season. Black Coffee saying he looks in good shape. Look, Malacia has always looked like he is an athletic person. That's always been his game, right? And I'll be honest, that's probably the main reason why I'm worried and why I think it's a risk about him coming back to the team. Malacia, in his first season, when he deputised for Luke Shaw, he got caught out of position a fair amount of times, and it was always likely to happen because he's an aggressive fullback. He likes to invert, he likes to go forward, he likes to add to the attack. But he had such a powerful first 10 yards in terms of acceleration that he'd always be able to cover himself. He had that burst that made sure that he could cover the gaps that he leaves. Will he still have that explosive power, given that he's been out for 18 months with a knee concern? I'd say that's a risk. Just as much as you can argue that Harry Amass coming into this first team environment and making his debut in circumstances that I do not think are ideal for an academy player. Risk, right? There's risks everywhere. And Erik Ten Hag's going to have to take calculated risks. And I'll tell you what isn't the solution. Playing Johnny Evans at left back or Victor Lindelof as a fullback. Neither of those are solutions. They might have less risk in the idea that they are experienced players and they might have, but I don't know what game it was last season, but Victor Lindelof deputised at left back. And fair play to him, he tried. He tried to invert, he tried to go on the overlap, and it was like watching me run. He's not cut out for that. He shouldn't be here this season anyway. And yeah, I know, look, you're saying that I know that Amass is very good going forward when it comes to the defensive side of things and making sure you're not getting caught out of position and you're playing up against the sorts of wingers that would really crush you in the Premier League. It's a risk. But I would argue there's a big old risk with Tyrell Malacia as well. Man, the left-back situation. As I said to you before, I think there's been lots of problems at this football club. That one there is just like a catalogue of errors from everybody involved. From when Malacia got the injury originally to the rehab and the surgery he had and the botched surgery that Martinez had and Malacia had. And I think Malacia's was back in the Netherlands. I think the club allowed him to go there. And they, not that they chose what surgeon he went to, but I think they had a say in it. And I don't know what happened with Martinez either. Just a catastrophe, really, what's happened at left back. And then Luke Shaw, who's only fit for England. I'll run through our injury problems a little bit later in the show. But yeah, sounds like Malacia could be back before the international break, and that would be a good thing. But it would definitely come with risks as well. I'll go down here and see what you're saying in the comments. Alex, man, thank you. Gifted 5 memberships. Oh, let's bring Casemiro out. It's been a while. There's not been a time for the soundboard, I'll tell you that.
Good morning. Good morning. Hello.
Man, it's been ages since I heard that. Jeez. What are you saying down here in the comments? Sam, without risk, how can United go back to winning ways? I don't think you can. I don't think that style against Villa was a way back. The style against Villa was, let's make sure we don't sink any lower. But the style against Villa is not going to be, okay, well, let's start climbing back up. Different sorts of energies. Right? That's what the Villa performance was. But anyway, I suppose we'll see what happens. I'm going to run through my starting 11 prediction for the game against Brentford a little bit later. That's my lunchtime video. And also going to be... I'm probably going to put my starting 11 that I would put, as well as my prediction. Dip, 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 dip. Now, look, I'm sure you saw this yesterday. I don't particularly think this is too much of a talking point, if I'm being totally honest. But Paul Pogba gave an interview yesterday. It's his first interview. His 4-year doping ban got reduced to 18 months. And Pogba, I think is it from January onwards? I don't know. I think it's January onwards. Is going to be allowed to play football again. And, well, the interview is just to get him back in the public eye, I suppose. I don't think Juventus want him. I think he said that he would take a pay cut to be at Juventus. But anyway, good luck to him. He's not going to come back to United. And it's just, this was an interesting little quote from him, saying that, I remember that season. I remember going to Fulham away under Solskjaer, when Pogba had a blinder, scored a goal. I think Martial scored as well. Was that 3-1? And I remember singing Ole's at the Wheel for like 20 minutes. It was such a catchy song that you could just continue over and over again. A bit like It's Carrick, you know. That was a good one as well. I remember that. Anyway, don't anybody say Pog back number 2 in the comments. Do not go back to your ex. Ever. Let alone twice. Anyway, he's just saying that after that season, that half season where he turned into probably the form player in Europe. It was a 2-1 win. It was a great goal he scored. Anyway, he was the most informed player in Europe at that time. And then at the end of that season, he asked to leave the club. No, he didn't leave the club. Oh dear, oh dear. Anyway, good luck, Pogba. That's the only thing I want to speak about there. I wanted to run through this. I saw this floating around on Twitter, and I thought this was... This video is going to be cliche. Cliche as hell. But right now at Manchester United, these cliches still apply. Right? This is Nicky Butt speaking about some advice he got from Fergie.
For me, what really stuck with me is sometimes when you're playing with players that are above you some level and you level yourself, you always try and copy what I try to copy what Scholes would do or Ryan would do, and it really wasn't my forte. I was me, he was him, Pat was him. And he said one thing to me a while ago, and he basically said hard work is the biggest skill anybody can have. Yeah. It's not like dribbling like Giggsy or passing like Scholesy or crossing. It's about work ethic, and don't ever be embarrassed about being the hardest working person on a football pitch, and that stuck with me all the way through my career, really.
Don't ever be embarrassed about being the hardest working player on a football pitch. The reason I'm doing that is because you look at this United team and you just go, I mean, how many people have that sort of built into them? Bruno Fernandes definitely does. It's probably one of the reasons why I'll always defend him. Partly. Because any football fan, I'm not just speaking about Manchester United right now. If, as a fan, You watch a game of football and you see all of your players just grafting. Now, you might lose the game because certain things happen in the game. Deflected shots, moments of quality, moments of magic, moments of talent. That happens. That's what separates, winners from losers to a certain degree. But as long as you've watched your team just graft it, sweating, giving 100%, as a fan, you're going to give them a lot more leeway. You're going to have a lot more patience and a lot more time for them because you can see that they've fully committed themselves. And if they don't do that, and those basics don't exist, you walk into an environment like it feels with Man United fans right now. And then that's when it goes down to, the players aren't trying, the players aren't doing this, the players aren't doing that. And then he goes, is it the players or the manager? And blah, 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 blah. Nicky Butt's so bang on there. Ronaldo wouldn't have been... Ronaldo, he had talent, no doubt. But the reason Ronaldo became Ronaldo was not because of his talent. It's because he made himself the Terminator of a footballer, had a ridiculous physique the whole way through, and kept himself the absolute sharpest that he possibly could be at any point. That's what made Ronaldo. Now, on top of that, he was a very good footballer too. But you combine the two. One without the other, you're screwed. Talent without hard work, screwed. Although they're saying that, hard work without talent, you still need to be a decent footballer, right? It resonates. It really resonates. And then, I don't know whether it's just part of the modern game rather than just being a Manchester United problem, but I don't know. Hard work does always beat talent. It's just, as I said, I told you it was going to be cliche. Because it is cliche. But Nicky Butt's bang on there. I'm going to see what you're saying down here in the comments. Let me pull some up. Mainly saying it's sad how we just want players to work harder now before we can criticise them for lack of quality hardware. That's what I mean. I'm really quite bored of it. I am bored of speaking about the basics. We're Manchester United, man. You shouldn't be speaking about the basics. The basics should be an absolute given. Just as sort of subconscious as you walk around or you breathe. You don't have to think about it, you just do it. That's what it should be in a United game. Players just work hard. You don't have to ask them to do it. You don't have to look at them. No, they just do it. They just do it without asking. Good old Weghorst, man. I know people hated him for his quality in front of goal because he was poop. But Weghorst started every game in the period of football where United have played their best under Erik ten Hag. And his hard work was part of that. Do you remember that celebration? Who did he score against? That's a little pub quiz question. Who did Weghorst score against in front of the Stretford end? That was his first United goal. I think it was a European game. Who was it against? Damn. Was it the end of the group stage? And it was last 5 minutes of the team. What was it? Did they wear yellow? I can't remember this. Someone must know this in the comments. We're having a little quiz break. Real Betis. Was it Real Betis? I need to see. I need to Google this now. Weghorst goal. Man United. I think that's the wrong one. He scored away against Nottingham Forest. His first Old Trafford goal. It was Real Betis. Well done, everybody. Well done. Look at that. Fun times. Fun times. I guarantee you, if I ever got the opportunity to go to Weghorst's house, there's a big ass picture of him knee sliding and basically crying. So he scored against Forest. That was away. That was his first goal. But his first goal in Old Trafford, in front of the Stretford end, was against Real Betis. Well done to who was it? Who got it first? Mazid, you got it first, and Alex, you got it second. Ashwin, you got it third, and Henry, you got it fourth. Well, you're cleverer than me, because I did not remember that. Do we think Shaw or Malacia will play first? I don't want to talk about Luke Shaw. I will speak about him in a bit, though. Little brief chat here. Of course, this is ongoing right now. I spoke about Omar Berrada's involved in the tribunal between Benjamin Mendy and Man City about the unpaid wages. That was on Monday. And James Ducker here from The Telegraph, of course, we know this, saying Manchester United are confident that Omar Berrada will not be sort of brought into anything that happens with City and the 115 charges. Was it 130 now? I don't know. I don't know how many charges they got against them. But United remain confident that no matter what happens with that, Berrada won't be implicated. I suppose we'll find out in the goodness of time. Has that case started yet? I think it starts pretty soon. I think it's definitely starting before the end of the year. But United seem confident that he's not going to be involved in any way, shape or form. I thought this was an interesting little side story from The Athletic, saying that there's tension rising between the academies of Chelsea, Liverpool, United. And I think this should really exist, right? Okay, so the story goes that Chelsea refused access first to, don't know whether it was Liverpool scouts or Man United scouts, to come and watch their games. And as a consequence, Liverpool have started blocking Chelsea scouts from coming to games. And Man United getting involved. And I'm looking at it thinking, yeah, absolutely. Sod that. You want your academy you want your academy scouts to come to my academy to try and poach my players. Sod that. I don't know whether it goes down to some sort of monopoly or competition rules that you're not allowed to ban them. That may well be part of it. But yeah, if any Liverpool scouts want to come to United and watch our youngsters, no, man. No, you're not coming in. And I would expect the exact same from Liverpool if a United scout came to try and watch their under 14s or 15s and try and poach some players. I don't know what. I said maybe it's down to an actual rule. Sheikh saying, "Can we send spies?" Peeping over. Could happen. Scouts should be able to attend youth games. Otherwise, how can you sign them? Yeah, maybe I'm being facetious here. If I worked at United and I saw some blah, 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 Liverpool scout next to it, I wouldn't want to let him in. It's a little bit different, Ricky, saying we've just pinched Chido Martin and Samuel Lascelles because it was quite common knowledge that he was in contract negotiations with Arsenal and they weren't giving him what he was offering and he didn't want to do it. So that was an opportunity rather than having to scout a player from a younger age and then getting in there early and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I thought that was an interesting little side story. Now, let's quickly have a little sort of 5-10 minute chat here about Brentford. And I did my video yesterday that I said I was going to do, and I've done it. Okay. I ran through my personal, the non-negotiables that I think that we need to see. And in my opinion now, they're non-negotiables. Erik ten Hag has been afforded the next 7 games by Ineos to show that progress and development. Had Ineos removed Erik ten Hag at the end of last season, all of us partly would have had to say, well, that was justified to a certain degree. Now, not all of us would have agreed with it. At that time, I wouldn't have agreed with it. But you couldn't say that there wasn't evidence to suggest that he partly deserved it, all right, after the season that we had in the league. And then going into this international break, there was a lot of noise around Erik ten Hag and his future. And had Erik ten Hag been sacked, a lot of us would have looked at it and gone, right, okay, I understand that now. Simi Skimmed, you're saying that it's not the next 7 games. This is my opinion. I keep saying this. This is how I think Ineos are going to be looking at this. These next 7 games, leading up to the last international break before December, when the fixture period gets crazy, and when there is no more international breaks until March, end of March, I think it is. And I ran through the non-negotiables. Number one was the results, all right? Number one was results. Now, Jonathan, you're saying he'll only get 2 games if we lose the next 2. That would just seem like really... Because my results, I'm putting results as number one. If you lose them all, well, you won't be here if you lose them all. If you win them all, no one's going to say a peep about your job because you've won 7 games in a row. But yeah, go and check out that video on the what I consider the things that we just simply have to see now. I don't think Ten Hag will be afforded just games to limp through where partly it works, partly it doesn't, and it's kind of like a stuttering car, like somebody who's on their first driving lesson. And it's like that. That's how United have been playing so far this season. And look, just to cheer you up at the end of the show. I don't know what noise to make here. Don't know what that was. This is the list of list of actual injuries that we know about, list of question marks that we don't know about. It's a big old list. So Mazraoui's definitely out, Maguire's definitely out, Malacia is definitely out, Yoro, Shaw, and Mount. That's 6. They're definitely out. Ugarte we don't quite know about yet. Mainoo is just whispers. Højlund, he's definitely not 100% fit yet. Hasn't played 90 minutes so far this season. And it's just, man, the injuries are starting to pile up again in the background. Oh, I see you non-negotiables, the Bear. Yeah. Man, I love the Bear. I'll tell you what. Are we watching the Penguin? I'm 3 episodes in, so don't you dare say anything in the comments. Otherwise, I won't speak about TV shows ever again. I'm loving that. Batman should be dark, man. Gotham's a horrible place. It should be dark as hell. And I think Matt Reeves' Batman and the style of the Penguin, the way that they've shot it, that's what Batman should be. I'm really enjoying it. What's wrong with Mount? I've got no idea what's wrong with Mount, man. I've seen that there. Like, don't talk to me about Mason Mount. Don't talk to me about Luke Shaw. I mean, what's the point? Honestly, what is the point? Jeez. Mania saying, I think it's going to be a stuttering series of games. I thank you for gifting 5 memberships as well. You and Alex, both of you. Injuries can't be... It can't be another season where injuries are sort of leading the conversation. Like, it cannot be. That's pure negligence on the part of Gary O'Driscoll, who was brought in, remember, as the head of sports medicine from Arsenal, on the new head physio that we brought in as well. 2 new head physios. There's been a lot of changes. They've brought in that new activation zone. Sod knows what that is. Basically, just warm up and stretch before you start training, presumably. Right? Injuries cannot be just part of the conversation this season. Let's find out if they are. Anyway, my starting 11 video is going to be going out at lunchtime today. Last minute or 2 of the show, you fire in your questions or your comments. Anything you want me to speak about more that I have, or anything else. Doesn't have to be about United. Main talking point for today, as I said, just whispers at the moment with Kobbie Mainoo. But if I was Erik Ten Hag, I wouldn't be risking any player. And Kobbie, let's be totally honest, has not looked completely Kobbie at any point this season. He's looked fatigued in every game this season. His legs have looked heavy compared to how easily he just strode around the pitch last season. The football, if you get a 19-year-old playing that much football, it's kind of why it's almost really impressive how well Garnacho has dealt with it. How do United get through the first 2 minutes against Brentford? What is it, last 4 games? Is it last 4 games they've scored in the first minute and a half? I don't know. They've done quite a few times. What about Garnacho, says Bryn? As far as we know, I should have had Garnacho on that list, to be fair. Garnacho didn't go to international duty with Argentina because of a knee issue. We don't know anything further on that just yet. Bring back Pasta Fred. I love Fred, man. And when you think, and that's a strange one, you look at the 60 million on Mason Mount and you think about Manchester United moving to a system of 1 number 6 and 2 number 8s, and you look at Fred and the player that he was, kind of really fits that number. If you're playing a 2 number 8 system, Fred would fit that. Brian is saying, look at Gavi, absolutely burned to the ground, and Ant, you're talking about what Liverpool did with Owen. It's so hard, and because if it's so hard to balance the early careers of great players, because Kobbie's a great player, and when we look back on his football career, he will be remembered as a great player. But it's very hard not to want to play that player every single week. But then you have to manage them and you have to be responsible as a manager. And I think that's what Erik ten Hag has done to a certain degree with Kobbie. I don't think he did that as much with Garnacho because he relied on him last season. Garnacho, 38 games in a row that he started. That was absolutely bonkers. So I wouldn't really say that was... I think he managed his growth, but I think that was a little bit irresponsible. But we didn't have anyone else to rely on last season. Apna, you're saying Ten Hag's training intensity is nothing wrong. Look, there's been periods where players have said, "Oh, Ten Hag reduced the training because we're playing so much this week," and then we've had pre-season. It's been going on for so long. I don't think it's the intensity of the training, right? Annie, you're right down there saying literally every team has injuries. You can't always have a fully fit team. No. United's injuries have statistically been the worst out of any team over the last 2 years. I think there was a report that came out in the Telegraph that proved that. It is what it is. Well, not really is what it is. Pyro can see gifting 5 memberships. I've got a smile on my face because Nuruddin has popped up. Just walked into the bar, just like slammed it. Just gifting 50. I'm going to bring out Neville for that one. It's been a long time since we've been able to put this and actually have a little smile here on this in the live show.
Oh, shit!
I don't think that would ever not be funny. I'll be honest. But Nuruddin, I see you there, man. Thank you so much for gifting 50 memberships. And to everybody else, say thank you. Let me leave the link to the Discord down here. I'm in chats with Joe, who's community manager, going to be leading the community. We're going to be hyping it up. We're going to be bringing some more. What we want to try and bring to the Discord is like some quizzes, some trivia, leaderboards where you can win prizes, more giveaways directly on there, loads of stuff. And of course, conversation and match day stuff. Make sure you go and check it out. But look, thank you all for tuning in. To Nuruddin, thank you, dude. As always, you keep supporting this channel, and I hope you think feel like I keep delivering. I was disappointed that not many of you enjoyed the South America scouting video. I thought that was quite an interesting topic, but we're learning. All right, we've got some more coming out. Hopefully, going to have as soon as videos soon. Don't know when we're going to be able to get that one out. We'll figure it out. Thank you all for tuning in. Drop a like on the video, and I will see you tomorrow for Friday map day, and also lunchtime today with the starting 11 video for Brentford. Take it easy.